Just gonna go and do a bank job. I was asleep in there not 4 hours ago, or trying to sleep in there not 4 hours ago. Right, chaps, carry on. Lord Duck. Here we go. Ta-da, ta-da.
Come on.
Go on, duckies. Go back in, duckies.
I didn't find anything there.
You know? Or maybe it's still the old food.
Oh dear.
Come on.
Come on, duckies, let's go. Come on. Oh, one behind. The underlay is now in position, ready to put the liner in, and then we'll start filling 50 cubic metres of water, we reckon, and then we can go for a swim. Yes. The liner is in, the water is on, so we'll see how many weeks it takes to fill up. He's got a submersible pump that collects water from the gutters. That's a good idea. Which is pumping on the top one, and the second one down is the hose pipe. This is for my friend Mathew. Mathew Jones came into my life in March 2016. I had embarked on building a new house in Bentley, and one day Kevin presented me with a multi-talented Mathew. He could dig holes, knock down walls, lay concrete, and get the most amazing speed out of a fully loaded 1-ton dumper. He had the fantastic ability at 4:59 and 59 seconds each day to have Kevin's car, no matter where it had been parked, pointing in the right direction of home, with engine warmed up and ready to go. Kevin was encouraged to make haste on the way back to Llangefni and would leave with a token wheel spin. I would bid them farewell and watch the rear of Kevin's car go down my lane, shortly replaced by the front of Kevin's car coming back. Mathew had forgotten his phone. Mathew was a wonder when it came to having a fire. He was at his happiest adding petrol to the unlit contents of a burner barrel, and could often be seen, cigarette in mouth, pouring what most people would consider enough fuel to end all human existence on planet Earth into it. He would then pause, scratch his head, take a puff on his stogie, and add some more. With a mischievous look of satisfaction, he would then turn his thoughts to ignition. While this was being contemplated, he would add a bit more, just to make sure. He would then take great care to ensure that the unsealed container with the remaining petrol was secured in a safe and secure place, which in his considered opinion was right next to the fire. Mathew had decided against the safety features offered by a long pole with a rag attached, and decided instead that using my gas blowtorch would be just the answer and offer all the protection he required. He positioned himself right next to the barrel, leaning over the top in order to get a good view of the contents, with the shimmering haze of petrol fumes clearly visible. He then hurriedly turned on the gas and offered his lighter to the hissing and spurting nozzle, which responded by turning into a flamethrower. Not in the least concerned by this, Mathew redirected his version of Vesuvius towards the waiting barrel. No reaction. Let's have another go, he thought. Better put my hand into the barrel and make sure it lights okay. It did light okay, strangely enough. There was a huge explosion, with flames shooting into the air. Mathew exhibited the most amazing feat of agility and responded with one of his famous "whoops, that wasn't supposed to have happened" grins. Nobody was hurt and all was well. Mathew had learned a lesson, and it never happened again. Until next time. Mathew was also very caring and exhibited this when my friend gave me some ducks. The males can sometimes be a bit brutal with the females, who can have cuts and feather loss. One of the small caller duck females was a constant target, and one day was very weak and unable to make it back to the pen. Mathew picked her up and cradled her in his arms for a while. Also this year we had eggs, and one of the females stayed in her box for weeks. Mathew would sometimes let the ducks out of their pen in the morning so they could enjoy themselves in the pond. This morning Mathew burst into the house and proudly announced with a massive grin that we have babies. He was so proud. Other happy memories of Mathew. It'd be quite long if I was to tell you about each one of them, but these are the highlights. The day Mathew cut the CCTV cable, hilarious. The day he and his road roller had to be rescued by Mike and his digger from my hedge. The day he mistook one of our customers' gate posts for fresh air while driving my van. Needless to say, that cost me money. The day he put a full canister of expanding foam onto one of his fires. And the day he tried on his waders for the first time. And one of his favourite experiences was the day we hid a spider in his teacup. You wouldn't have thought that a grown man could emit such a scream of intensity at the sight of a harmless insect. He was so annoyed and didn't speak to Kevin or myself for the rest of the day. I will always have happy memories of the time I spent with Mathew. You will never be forgotten, my friend.